Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
All right, so before we get started with questions, why don't you give us just a quick overview about the paint scheme and why it's so special to you heading into this weekend at Talladega?
Yeah, this weekend, this is our car right here, but an Xfinity race in the car in memory of Davey Allison. Everyone knows Davey. He's a NASCAR Hall of Famer. He's from Alabama, but a lot of people don't realize is that when Davey passed away, which was 28 years ago, he was also a organ donor. And that's something that's obviously been a big part of my life with my mom. She passed away and was a organ donor as well. So we came up with this idea of honoring Davey in Talladega. And before we moved forward with it, we wanted to make sure it was okay with his widow, Liz. So we reached out to Liz, and she was all for it and super excited and wanted to do whatever she could to help as well. Honor Davey, but also raise awareness for organ donation, which is really, really cool.
All right. Well, we appreciate you sharing that with us and joining us today. So we're going to go to questions. A friendly reminder to the media who have joined us that if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand within the Zoom platform or send us a chat. We'll monitor that as well. And to kick us off with questions, we're going to go to Marty. Go ahead, Marty, with your question for Joey.
Thanks, Amanda. Joey, thanks for your time. I got two for you here. First, about this paint scheme, you brought up Liz there. What was her first reaction when she saw the throwback tribute to Davey?
She said a lot of emotion. There was a lot of happy and a lot of sad all at the same time. She obviously misses Davey very much, and the 28 is very historic, and Davey, everything he's been able to do in that number. So she was really happy to be able to see the 28 come back again one more time in Davey's honor, and especially at Talladega. And the other thing is she knows how much it really means to Davey's fans, which I've always known Davey, and I was actually born the year he passed away, but I knew this was going to be a huge deal, but I didn't realize how big it was really going to be until we announced it, and how many huge Davey Allison fans are still out there today, which is so cool.
How about on the Yates side of things? I know the number 28 in this scheme is very historical when it comes to the Yates family side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually been able to talk to Doug, and I talked to Doug for about 30 minutes, and it was the first time we've actually ever met, but he was super excited as well, and he was also, emotional and Mrs. Davey, and, he had so many different stories to tell about their past, which is also really cool.
Last thing for me, going into the weekend at Talladega, we spoke before Daytona 500 Media Day. You and the rest of the Rick Ware Racing drivers had a game plan: stay in the back, avoid the big ones, and make your way up near the front. Is that game plan the same entering this weekend?
Yeah, that's always kind of the main goal. We luckily were able to do that pretty well in Daytona, and we got a top 20 finish out of it. Hopefully this time around we'll do a little bit better than that, and if we could get a top 10 out of this for Davey, that would be really amazing.
Thank you, Joey. Best of luck this weekend, man.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to our next question from Anton. Go ahead, Anton.
Thanks, Amanda. Good morning, Joey. So you're driving with the Davey Allison throwback scheme this weekend. Does that give you some extra momentum, extra motivation for the races at Talladega?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, it's Davey's home track, and Davey's from Alabama, so we're going to have a ton of people cheering us for us there. And then also, we just added a little extra pressure, but definitely motivation to do well for Davey and his family and all their fans. We definitely want to represent them in the 28 number well.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Dustin Long. Go, Dustin.
Thank you. Joey, I'm curious, you mentioned the Davey Allison fans, and as you mentioned, it's you didn't get the chance really to see him race as much as it really kind of grasp what Davey Allison was like, per se, maybe. I'm curious, what have you kind of gotten a sense out of just how many Davey Allison fans, and just here's a guy, as you noted, who has been gone for 28 years, and certainly you bring up an image of this car or his name, it does seem like that there is his name certainly still has an important meaning for a lot of fans. I'm curious how you've kind of seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one example that I mean, anytime I post anything on social media about Davey or the car, it just really explodes. And when we made this announcement, my tweet alone got 400,000 impressions, which is more than anything I've ever gotten at all on Twitter. And I literally, fans are sending me pictures and messages of literally shrines that they have made for Davey. And like you said, he passed away 28 years ago. So it's obviously there's a ton of diehard Dale Earnhardt Sr. fans, but in my opinion, since we've done this, I would say the other most beloved driver out there is definitely Davey Allison. And the one thing that I hear over and over again is obviously he's a very talented and a great race car driver, but the other thing is just how great of a person he was. And any fan that ever met him, or even if they weren't fans of him before then, they were then, because he was just so kind to them and just such a great person. And I think that really shows. And that also shows by him being an organ donor. 28 years ago, organ donation was super rare. It's still rare today, but 28 years ago was something that was almost really even unheard of. So for them, Davey and his family and Liz, and make that decision, it just really shows how great of a person he really was. And so we're trying to get as many people as we can to go to registerme.org/28 and register in his honor.
And also, as you alluded to, just the impressions that you got on social media. I don't know if responsibility is the word, but just whenever somebody has a throwback scheme, certainly it's important to a group of people, but certainly this is a larger group. Is there, I don't know if it's a weight or a responsibility or just what kind of comes with it, as opposed, being affiliated with Davey Allison with a throwback scheme, maybe opposed to some others, just because there's a larger fan base. I'm just kind of how that has impacted you since you've gotten this program going and released this information.
Yeah, there's a ton of responsibility, trying to do everything the right way for Liz and Davey, and doing everything as respectful as we can. And like you said, there's a lot of stuff on trying to just make them proud on not everything we're doing on the racetrack and our finishes and all that kind of stuff, but just the way we're represented them. And how I always try to be the best person I can no matter what I do. And I feel that's how Davey always was. So I'm trying to also continue that path and make my own boys and my own wife proud as well.
Thank you, Joey.
All right. Marty, did you have a follow-up question?
I did, Amanda. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just turn the camera on here first. So, Joey, this just came up to me. With this being a big tribute to Davey Allison and the big fan base Davey had, I'm curious, was there an increase in sponsorship and funding opportunities at Rick Ware Racing for this ride?
We definitely had a lot of interest, but luckily before we ever even announced this, most of our partners were already secured. And we team up with Donate Life and OPOs a lot. That's one of our bigger partners and has been for a long time because of my mom and everything we try to do there. But for this race, we have the most amount of partners teaming up on the Donate Life and the OPO side. Hope, which is out of Alabama, which is responsible for all the recoveries in Alabama. Advancing Site, which does all the recoveries for eye donation in Alabama. We have Mora, which is the OPO in Mississippi, and then LOPA, which is the OPO all the way in Louisiana. So we have all those different groups teaming up for this one race, which is really, really cool. And you don't actually see their names on the car because their main goal is just to register organ donors. And that's what we're trying to do through registerme.org/28. And Davey was obviously an organ donor in Alabama and actually was through Legacy of Hope, which was a different name then, but something that's really, really cool.
Awesome. Thanks again, Joey. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, just want to double,
Thank you.
no additional questions for Joey? All right, well, Joey, thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend in Talladega.
Okay, thank you so much, guys.
All right, and to all the media who joined us for this morning's sessions, the audio and video from today's sessions will be available on NASCARmedia.com. There are some additional availabilities this afternoon. One of those is being hosted by our friends at Toyota. If you need that information, please feel free to go to the NASCARmedia.com website to locate all the links and the information. We will have a Zoom tonight at 5:30 with Eric Almirola. And then after the Pro Invitational this evening, we will have the availability with the race winner from that event. So again, all information is available on NASCARmedia.com. If you need anything from us, please reach out, and we look forward to talking with you again soon. Bye.